Hi, everybody. It's Diane Dobry, and this is Getting Hungry podcast. And today we have a special guest, Petra Kovac from Reconnect Hungry. And about a year ago, the Getting Hungry podcast interviewed author Alison Pataki, who wrote 2 books on the life and reign of Empress of Austria-Hungary, Sissi, also known as Empress Elizabeth. Alison Pataki is also an ambassador for Reconnect Hungry. She's the face of the organization. And Alison suggested that I contact Reconnect Hungry to talk about the great programs they offer, and that these programs are for American and Canadian Hungarians. And she put me in touch with Petra Kovac, who's my guest, and she'll introduce us to the organization and give an overview and information on how to find out more about signing up and participating in summer programs that they offer. So welcome to the podcast, Petra. Thanks for coming.
Hi, thank you for having me on. I'm very excited to be here.
I'm glad you could do it. So I'm going to share my screen. Before you tell us about the programs available and how to apply, because it's saying now accepting applications for 2023, can you just give a little bit of background on when the program started and what is the mission for the program?
Sure. So Reconnect Hungary, the Hungarian Birthright Program, was launched in 2012. So we actually had our 10-year anniversary last year in 2022. It was a really great year celebrating the 10 years. We had lots of wonderful events to celebrate. The program was launched to give young Hungarian Americans and Canadians an opportunity to reconnect with their Hungarian roots, something that they might have not explored previously. Many generations back was probably the last time that anyone had ever been to Hungary in their family, for example. So it's just a wonderful mission to get people reacquainted with their history, their Hungarian history.
Great, that's nice. So who are let me just change to the next slide, which shows you have Reconnect Hungary and Reconnect Hungary 29 plus. So
yes,
who are the Reconnect Hungary participants and their ages and other qualifications?
Right. So the Birthright Program is from 18 to 28 years old. It is American and Canadian citizens, and they don't have to speak Hungarian whatsoever. It's not a qualification. And they just have to have some sort of Hungarian ancestry. And they couldn't have lived in Hungary past the age of 12 years old. That's another qualification. So let's say they left before they were 12, they have an opportunity to join the program.
So would they have not been visiting Hungary as well between 12 and 18?
That visiting is different. If they were living at length between 12 and 18, then that would not necessarily count. But visiting is okay.
All right. Is there any other qualifications that they need to have? Do they need like a referral or?
So once it comes to the application itself, we do ask for 2 letters of recommendations. And we do have a few written portions where they submit an essay or 2, one about their Hungarian background and another about different topics that they can choose from. And that's just so that they kind of explore the culture a little bit before getting into the program.
I see. Okay. And then we have Reconnect Hungary 29 plus. Can you give me a little information about that?
Sure. So that launched a little bit later. So that was not launched in 2012 like the Birthright Program was. 29 plus gives anyone from the ages of 29 to now 49 the opportunity to also go on the Birthright Program. It is a shorter trip. As you could see, the Birthright Program for those that are ages 18 to 28, it is from July 14th to the 28th this year. And for the 29 plus, it'll be from July 14th to the 23rd. So they do have a shorter trip. It is a bit more intimate because that group does tend to be a bit smaller than the 18 to 28.
And I see that you need a minimum of 5 participants for the program to run for the year.
Yes, exactly. Yes, exactly. But we are already having a lot of interest, so it does not look like it'll be a problem.
And so you're taking applications now. What is the deadline for this year?
For this year, the deadline is March 10th.
Oh, we're getting
close. Yes, we are getting very close. And for the Birthright program from 18 to 28, the application can be found on reconnecthungary.org/application. There you would have to create an account and fill out the application. For those who are 29 plus, we have a Google form, which is much simpler to access. No account needs to be created or anything like that. And that can also be found on our website.
Great. How many participants do you normally expect in each program?
In the Birthright program, we usually expect anywhere between 18 to 20 participants. Last year, we had about 21. And then for the 29 plus, it is usually around the 5 to 7 range.
Oh, okay. You had told me when we were chatting that there are differences in the program for the 29 plus.
Yes. So for the 29 plus program, we do try to kind of curate it a little bit more to the participants themselves, so that it's a more curated experience, I guess you could say. You know, their age does play a factor in their interests. So anything that they might be interested in that the younger participants might not be interested in, they would have the opportunity to explore that. So that's what presents as different in the two.
I understand that there's a preparatory course in the spring for the participants who are accepted into the program as a way for them to get to know each other on social media. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yes, so the program doesn't just consist of the trip over the summer. The program also consists of this preparatory time period, this material. We do send out materials and also fun little quizzes that they can take to get acquainted with the history and the culture of Hungary. And this way they also get to know each other. So we start a small little group on Facebook, and also through Zoom, they can have little chats where we introduce a topic and they get to ask questions and also see each other's faces for the first time, kind of get acquainted with the group of the year. The 29 plus participants, if they're interested in taking part in the Zooms or, also receiving the materials, they can reach out and let us know that they want to be a part of the preparatory material.
Okay. Can you give an idea of the cost of the program and what that includes?
Yes. So I'm going to list the cost for Reconnect Hungary 18 to 28 is $2,100. And for 29 plus, it is $3,300. The 18 to 28, 2,100, it includes airfare, all travel locally, all food, lodging, any excursions. So the price includes everything on the trip. The only thing it does not include is anything that they would like to purchase on their own, like souvenirs and things like that. If they want to buy something themselves, that's their own expense, as well as getting to New York, because we will be flying together from New York to Budapest on the 14th.
I see. So if they come from another part of Canada or the US, they have to get to New York on their own.
They have to get to New York on their own, because the travel cost is from JFK to Budapest only. Because we will be having an orientation day, the day of the flight, at the consulate in New York, in the Hungarian consulate. So we do recommend, flying in or taking the train in, wherever you're coming from, to get to New York maybe a day or two early, so you can explore New York if you haven't been before. Or
it's a morning, I assume, a morning orientation.
Yes, it's in the morning. Usually starts at 9 a.m.
Okay. So that's good to know. About how much money do people generally bring with them when they go for their spending money? I know it depends on how much they want
Yeah,
to
it
purchase.
really does depend on the person. So I can't give you an exact answer because, you know, some people have motivation to go shopping for clothes, or whatever it may be, or they have a list of people they need to get gifts for. So really it is dependent on the person, how much they would like to bring.
Where do participants stay when they are in Hungary, and where do the meetings and events take place?
So they stay at usually at a, this is going to sound silly to Americans, I think, but in Hungary it's quite normal. There's dormitories all over Budapest, and dormitories can be rented out by any kinds of groups. So it's not necessarily just for students over the summer. So it is this dormitory, and it is the kind where there are actually meeting rooms and conference rooms in the building. So anytime we do have any type of, you know, speakers come or visitors come and hold a presentation or to introduce themselves or a topic, those will be held in the conference rooms that are right there. So you really just wake up and then attend the event right there in the building.
So who leads the programming, and what can attendees expect to be doing as participants? I'm going to show some of the pictures that you sent me. I know they have some work, but I think they have a lot of fun too as well, right?
Yes, lots of fun. So each group gets a bunch of peer guides, about 2 or 3 peer guides who come along with the group. And we also have the program director there as well. Her name is Gabi Vajtai. And we take everyone together to every program. So the peer guides do everything with the group. So the group is never alone when we're going from program to program. So they don't have to worry about getting lost. We do have a lot of fun. So you explore the city, and then we also have every year a excursion to Lake Balaton. That's a day trip. And then we also have a trip somewhere else outside of Budapest, and every year that's different. So this past year we went to Eger, and this year we will be going to Veszprém, because it has been selected for, I believe it's City of the Year or something like that. So we will be going to Veszprém this year, and that is a longer trip than Lake Balaton. So that's 2 days and 1 overnight.
I see that they also do have some free time.
They do. So we try to give free time if not every day, then most days we do try to give free time, especially after, you know, something that's a little bit like a museum or something like that. We do like to give free time afterwards, so that it's not too packed.
Yeah, and it's fun to explore something if, you know, if they've seen something that they're passing, and
exactly. It's fun, and it's also fun to, if you know, you see the itinerary and you see something that's not included, and there's a free time that, you know, you could put something in there that you know you're interested in, but someone else might not be.
Yeah. Well, since they're 18 to 29, I guess they have some free time in the evenings.
Yes. So in the evenings, they do have free time. That's their time. They can do whatever they'd like, go anywhere they would like. So usually the program ends around either before or after dinner. So most days we have dinner together, but on days where the last slot is free time, they can, you know, explore the rest of the night on their own. So nights are always their own program. They can go wherever they'd like. There's no curfew or anything like that either. We just ask that they be ready the next morning for whatever the program is.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you have a night owl who stays up, we just hope they make it to the program the next day. And then we do have maybe a day where we go to a dancehaz, which is where people get together to dance, Hungarian folk dancing. That is in the evening. So that's one of the nights that we do have where there's an evening portion of the program.
I have a video. I'm going to show the video and a couple of pictures. before we start talking about the Reconnect Transylvania trip, I thought I would show this video, if it will play. There we go. So this, I think, is Esztergom. Is that right?
This is actually in Budapest. This is the St.
Oh, the
Stephen's
St.
Basilica.
Stephen's. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, because Esztergom, I was looking at the door. I'm like, is that the same one? Yeah, now I can tell. You have the fence up, or there's the gates around the.
Yes, there's the gates. Yes.
Okay. And then is this Transylvania or?
This is Transylvania. Yes. This is a picture from this past year in Transylvania.
Okay. And then I have these. I think some of these might also be Transylvania as well, right?
Yes, this one in the lower right-hand corner is Transylvania, and then the one right above it as well.
Oh, where they're cooking, they're making.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think they might be making bread.
I think I have another picture of that with the Transylvania pictures, but
yeah. And then the one in the middle, that's from visiting the foreign relations. So we do have meetings with government officials as well, to kind of get to know more about Hungary in depth, firsthand. And people really do tend to enjoy that portion. They have lots of questions always, and they're always very eager, which is really great to be a part of.
I just picked out these two testimonials, which I'm just going to read really quickly, just because I thought they were interesting, to show what some of the former participants said. And this is Madison Jones. She says, this program has given me the opportunity to have more thorough experience of Hungarian culture than if I would have traveled by myself. It was incredible exploring Hungary, and I really appreciated getting to know my roots and meeting others that were on the same path. I loved the architecture and unique history. Some places were older than any other place I've ever been. Seeing some of my family's last names at the Holocaust Memorial was an extremely moving experience. My identity was reinforced on this journey as I met my family and saw where they lived on our free weekend. I realized citizenship is a real option for me, and I look forward to returning. And then Mark, I don't know how to pronounce his name, Ciesler, I think, says, Reconnect Hungary is an exceptional opportunity to discover aspects of your past with others who have similar roots. The best part is the connections and community you build with other participants, guides, and people in Hungary. I loved exploring the streets of Hungary and getting lost with the comfort of having experienced local guides. The diaspora has redistributed Hungarians all around the world, and parts of our Hungarian identities were left behind. If people are willing to learn and discover more about those that came before, they will learn what an extraordinary place Hungary is becoming. Reconnect Hungary is the most effective program to empower young people to start forming the community and then to remain involved. So there were so many other testimonials as well. And I think it's funny because I brought a group of students, agricultural students, to Hungary about, I don't know, almost 10 years ago, 9 years ago. And they said, I never would have expected to go to Budapest, and I'm so glad I did, because there's so much about Hungary I didn't know. And they weren't even Hungarian heritage, but I think it means even more to someone whose family's Hungarian. I like what Madison said too about meeting family. and seeing where they lived on a free weekend.
So they do get a free weekend where we really do encourage them to get connected with family that might still live in Hungary and actually visit them during that free weekend. There have been people who don't have any more living relatives, but they still travel to the town or village they're from. And there have been actually cases of people visiting the cemeteries as well and finding the headstones and visiting them. So those are always really touching stories as well. And then when they come back to Budapest at the end of the weekend, we like to reconvene and have everyone tell their stories of where they went, who they saw, and how that felt. So it is a very moving portion of the program.
So do they have it Ancestry.com or something going on ahead of time as part of the program, or do they are they encouraged to do that before they come to Hungary?
That's something we encourage that they do before they come to Hungary, just so that they can be prepared of who to meet. And if they do have issues with the genealogy portion, we have someone outside of the program. So we, as the program, don't do that. We don't focus on it, but we do know somebody that we can recommend to the participants to reach out to.
Let's start talking about Reconnect Transylvania. And this is a week in August, so it's usually after the program, right?
Yes. So the Reconnect Transylvania program is a week, and it starts right after the Birthright program. So this year it will be starting right as the Birthright program ends, July 28th. So that will be from July 28th to August 4th in Transylvania. And the trip will start from Budapest, and they travel down to Transylvania.
They go by bus or by train?
Usually by bus. Last year they went by a minibus.
Okay. And this is open to anybody who wants to go, or is it
Yes.
Okay.
So anybody, all ages. Yes, exactly.
It sounds great. I mean, I've never gone to Transylvania, and I hear that it's so beautiful there.
It is. It's very beautiful, and you get to know a lot of the local people and a lot of the local foods. It's very hands-on. It's a lot more hands-on than the Birthright program in Hungary. There's a lot of, as you saw before, the bread making. They make chimney cakes, the kústos kalács. They can.
Of that.
Yeah, here's some food. There's the chimney cakes as well in the upper hand corner. Yes. And they can also see, how pottery is made there or weaving. So it is very hands-on with the local culture and artisans. So it's a really great way to immerse yourself into the Transylvanian culture there.
How about the language? Because I know Transylvania has a different dialect, but it's pretty much, they don't need to speak Hungarian, so they don't need to speak Romanian or whatever the dialect is in Transylvania, right?
No, English is just fine, and you will have a guide with you who leads the program, and they will be there, and if any translation needs to be done, then they will translate.
Okay, and this is 1 week long?
Yes, it is 1 week long. And then once the program is over, everyone goes back to Budapest. So that's also included in the price.
The bus trip to Budapest.
Yes.
And if they've been in the Birthright program, then they fly back at that point to New York?
Right. So if, let's say you went on the Birthright program, but you also want to attend Transylvania, you go to Transylvania, and then the way we book the plane ticket is so that you can fly back to New York once Transylvania is over.
So I saw this Reconnect Transylvania Plus, which is a 3 to 6 month period for a kind of for young adults. And can you talk about this program as well?
Yes. So Transylvania Plus is a scholarship program for young adults of Hungarian background. And they go to Transylvania where they get the opportunity to intern at a local organization, either a non-governmental organization or even with the government. And they also on the side teach English at a local school.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
So accommodation is provided for, and they get this really wonderful opportunity to not just intern, but also teach and really be a part of the local community there.
So it's more of a learning experience or a different type of immersion experience.
Exactly. It's more of a learning type of experience. Yeah.
That has applications, and I kind of took the information about the application and I tried to make it into this graphic. So what needs to be included, where to email, and then what to put in the subject line: application for Reconnect Transylvania Plus scholarship. But again, it's what is that, reconnecthungary.org for more information on that.
Yes. And you can also, you can email us, or you can also visit the website, and there's a very lengthy page where you can read about every single detail.
Yeah, I saw that it said 1-page motivational letter with your background, your Hungarian background, how you can contribute, and how the program fits with your goals. Provides
exactly
room, board, and a monthly stipend, which is a nice extra.
Yes, and anyone who has a special interest, we would like you to let us know in your letter or in your application, and we will try to match you with the best options that there are in Transylvania.
Great. That sounds really exciting. It's mostly college students, or
yes, mostly college students,
or graduates, college graduates,
or recently graduated.
Recent college. Okay. So that's all I have. You have said that they keep in touch afterwards.
Yes, so after the program ends, the trip ends, because we do like to have our alumni keep in touch with each other, yes. And so post-trip, we really encourage them to volunteer in their local Hungarian communities. Most places have some type of a Hungarian organization where there are always events happening. So we do encourage them to volunteer there, help out with certain events, just to be a part of the community. And if you don't have an organization nearby, then we also like to encourage students to kind of maybe sign up for a Hungarian language course, or have a club on campus where they teach about Hungarian culture or tell them about their trip. So anything where they can kind of stay active and spread the word and stay active in their Hungarian culture, and kind of stay connected to each other as well. And we do have participants who have visited each other across states. So they would book a trip and visit their friend at their college. So it is really wonderful.
That would be great to encourage other people to go. And I think just having experienced it must be the best selling point.
And it's just really nice seeing how the trip created all these friendships and how they connected with each other with similar stories and similar backgrounds. It really is moving seeing the friendships that are built. We've even had people who met their future spouse through the program.
Wow.
So it is really great seeing how connected everyone stays afterwards.
Yeah, I'm sure that's really rewarding. So is there anything else that listeners should know, or where they can get more information? I see that there's a email, info@reconnecthungary.org.
Yes, please email us at info@reconnecthungary.org with any questions that you may have. If I didn't answer something or if I didn't cover something, please reach out, let us know if you have any questions, and we'll be happy to help. We might even call you up.
Well, I really appreciate you taking the time to speak with me today for Getting Hungry. And it sounds like a great experience. I wish it was available for me when I was younger. And maybe that's something that really encourages other people, is to hear it from someone who's gone or someone who's in the family who's got memories of Hungary. But
Sure, yeah.
But I may try to sneak in on one of the trips, at least the Transylvania one.
Please do. We would love to have you.
And I really appreciate you taking the time to do this, because I think it's a great program. Having brought students to Hungary myself, it's really someplace that it's kind of the best kept secret of Europe, I think.
It really is. It's a gem.
Thanks for coming on.
Thanks.